interesting. So I now invite Professor G.A. Ghanshyam to please share his nuggets of wisdom with us and enlighten us. So please.
Thank you very much, Mita ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah, very much audible, sir.
Right, ma'am. Thank you very much for taking such a long time to introduce, because I didn't want you to elaborate all those things, because when you elaborate all those things and I may not be able to fit to the things for which I have been invited, then it becomes really a kind of a boring thing. So thank you very much for taking such a long time to
No,
introduce me.
sir. It was worth elaborating, sir. It was worth elaborating.
Ma'am, thank you very much.
And thank you, sir. Thank you, Ghanshyam, sir, that you have accepted our invitation also. So such a laureate person with us. Please continue. Please continue.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Respected Rekha Acharya, ma'am, the head of the Department of Comparative Studies and Foreign Languages, Devi Ahilya University, Indore. Dr. Meeta Baid, ma'am, my very learned friend, philosopher and guide, Dr. Ashok Sasdeva, sir. Indeed, it's his love and affection because of which I am on the platform of Devi Ahilya University. And I really take this as an opportunity, and it's my privilege and pleasure both, because Devi Ahilya stands for educating the nation, and on whose name this Devi Ahilya University is existing in Indore. And there is a serial also which is going on Devi Ahilya. So the very purpose of education is to educate the nation. If we are not able to educate the nation, then the very purpose of our being educated goes full of waste. So I do believe that we need to educate ourselves so that we can educate the nation. And indeed, as far as writing is concerned, what Sasdeva sir has said, it's the fourth skill which becomes very difficult: listening, speaking, reading and writing. And what Bacon has said, writing makes an exact man. Absolutely. We want to become the exact person. We want to become a person who can have a skill wherein he can share his feelings and thoughts. And when we share our feelings and thoughts, is my screen visible? Is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Right. When we start sharing, sharing is included with caring. We share only when we care someone. If we don't care anyone, then we will never share. And sharing has a lot to do to develop the society, to develop the nation, to develop an individual. And the basic purpose of being a teacher, being an educator, is to develop the nation, is to develop the community, is to develop the society, is to make the people understand, is to upgrade the people, uplift the people, and uphold the very essence of education. Until and unless we update ourselves, we upgrade ourselves, we uplift ourselves, we are unable to uphold the very essence of education. So that's why education becomes the most prominent thing as far as we all are concerned. We all educators are concerned. We all learners are concerned. So it's indeed a pleasure for me to interact with all the learned scholars, my young friends and the faculty members. The talk which I am going to take today is write effectively to create the right effect. Why to write effectively? To write effectively is to create the right effect. If we are not creating the right effect, then the writing is not up to the mark. And in Hindi, we call it, when we write, we call it as kalam. What is kalam? कल लिखते हैं हम, वही है हमारी कलम. कलम से हम कल लिखते हैं, इसलिए कलम है वो. We write for the tomorrow. We write for the generations to come and read what we have felt, what we have observed, what we have seen, what we have gathered, and every minute details of today is being written for the betterment of tomorrow. And all the great literary artists, they have written so that the age could be seen by their writings, through their writings. What we are seeing today, the 14th century of Geoffrey Chaucer, when we read the prologue to Canterbury Tales, every picture has been portrayed in such a great way as if it appears like the portrait gallery in front of us. Even though it's written in Old English, but still we feel as if we are observing, we are feeling, we are looking at the person in front of us. So that's what the right effect. And that's why when people said, the pen is mightier than sword, let the pen becomes the sword. And what is sword? Sword is silent word. SWORD. S stands for silent. Silent word. The word doesn't make any noise, but it creates a great deal of what you call it as current. The undercurrent is there in the silent words. So every writing of ours should create a silent current. And if it is able to create the silent current, then the right education, then the right way of writing will come into existence. I'll just talk about one particular thing, like there is a real story when Bihari got a job in Mumbai and he was delayed by a week to join as a lecturer in the college. Then he wrote a letter to his principal in an inland letter in 2003, and I want you to read the letter. This is the letter, if you can see that. Can you see the letter?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's written, "Dear sir, this is my first visit to Bombay. If small mistake get inside my letter, I ask pardon." Right? Strictly speaking, I wanted to join the college more fastly, but for the following reasons, too much time lost in getting slipper reservation in their tire compartment. Lady Clark rejected my request. Later, I pressed her for a long time, and at last, with great difficulty, she gave birth, BIRTH, only to my son. I thanked the station master. He gave BIRTH birth to my wife. I hope you will see the whole HOLE story and let me first time. I am now ending this fastly. May God blast you. Right? So this is the form of a letter written by an English lecturer who was appointed. Right? So in that way, if we take this letter, you can enjoy this letter like anything. But the person has tried to write in this particular way, which shows that writing has to be taken into consideration in a great way. What is writing? The act of the art of forming the letters or characters on the paper, may it be wood, may it be stone, or may it be any other material. What we do is we record the ideas. We record our own ideas, and through the characters and through the words, we express whatever we want to communicate with the help of the visible signs. So that's what is writing. So writing has taken a different form nowadays. Nowadays, we have a blended kind of an approach, wherein not only we are writing on the papers, but at the same time, we are texting on the mobiles, we are writing emails on the laptops and computers, and what we are doing is we are using the trend called blend. If we are unable to blend, then we are unable to lend, like BLEND. It says if you are unable to blend, then you are unable to lend. And if you are unable to lend, take out L, what remains is it will end. So blend says blending is very necessary for lending. If you are unable to blend and lend, then you are going to end the very process of education, very process of writing. So blending is necessary. Rekha Acharya ma'am was telling about the skill. We need to develop the skill. Writing is a skill, listening is a skill, speaking is a skill, and reading is a skill. When we talk of all these skills, we all are ill, and that's why the society kills, because we don't have the skill. So skill also says, skill, kill, ill. We do not want to be the ill people, so that we could be killed by the people. So that's why we need to develop the skill. So the skill has to be developed. writing, he will make the right king. So if we want to become the right king, then we have to have a command over our writing. So writing becomes the foremost thing as far as a student is concerned, as far as a teacher is concerned, as far as a person is concerned. Every individual has a different kind of style of writing. Every great author has a different kind of a style. We all copy the authors, we all copy the artists. And when we start writing, in our writing, their influence we could see. But gradually, we change our own way of writing. Rekha ma'am was telling about be slow. Slowly, we can go towards the very good art of writing. I always request each one of you, be slow, but never feel low. We can be slow, but at the same time, we need to develop our own confidence. We need to develop our motivation towards writing. And in writing, reflexive writing says reflexive writing is being given to choose a subject and the form, and often reflexive writing is for the writer alone. The writer doesn't want to disclose whatever he has written. So that becomes the reflexive writing. Then comes the extensive writing. Extensive writing, on the other hand, is what we call it as you are given a subject and a range of subjects also given, and writing extensively results in sharing your writing. So when we share our writing with others, they do come across our own feelings, our own emotions, and our own observations, and they respond accordingly. And when they respond accordingly, then we need to develop the process of writing. When we say the process of writing, then the pre-writing comes. Pre-writing is basically the stage in which we explore the possible topics. And sometimes when we start writing, we fail to understand what kind of a topic we could take. And choosing a topic may take a lot of time, because as far as research is concerned, it may take a lot of time to find out the topic of your research. Research is not only compiling the information which you are getting from the primary or the secondary sources, but research is basically whatever information you are getting from the primary and the secondary sources, you need to read between the lines and research it. And when you do the research, the same kind of a thing is to be done in writing also. Because your writing, your pre-writing will make you to understand the topic in a very great way. And you are the only person who can understand your own topic in such a way so that you can bring all your feelings, emotions, and observations in the form of words. So words, they play a very vital role in writing. And when pre-writing is done, then drafting involves putting all the ideas down on the paper in a very rough format. You have seen in films also, the hero writes to the heroine. He keeps on writing the letter. In the old films you have seen. And if he is not satisfied with it, he used to do like this and put it in the dustbin. Right? So they started this pre-writing and drafting was going on. And at the same time, they were visualizing also. When this letter will reach the person, how the person is going to feel about it. What kind of a face the person will have. So entire observation, entire a kind of a scene is being created in front of the writer. So when the writer has created a scene in front of him, then he starts revising it. Revising is basically the stage in which you rework your rough draft to improve both its form and its content. So what is very important in writing is the form that you write and also the content on the topic which you are writing. So the form and the content, they play a very vital role in which particular form you are writing and what the content is all about. Are you confident with the content of your writing? Are you confident with the form in which you are writing? So that's where we revise everything. Then comes editing and proofreading. This editing and proofreading, they are the stages wherein you polish your writing and fixing the errors in grammar, spelling, and mechanics. So these things, they take you towards the technicalities of writing. We do accept that the technicalities of writing, they play a very vital role. Putting a comma here and there, putting all the punctuation marks, then using the right word at the right moment at the right place, then using the complete sentence in a right perspective. All these, they come under editing and proofreading. May I request some of you to kindly mute yourself. Then comes publishing. This is the last stage. In publishing, you are sharing your writing to the people. Your writing is going to the common people. Your writing is reaching the masses. From your own area, your own four walls, your writing is reaching the masses. So, writing is not only related to the people, those who belong to a particular class. From the particular class, the writing is reaching the mass. So, from the classes to the masses, your writing is reaching. When the writing reaches the masses, then the activities which are involved in writing, they are pre-writing, drafting, revising, editing and proofreading, publishing and presenting. These are the things which we have just seen. So developing your writing skill will not only help you to express yourself effectively, it will also help you to achieve success in life. We need writers. There are people, those who give project to the peoples. We need this kind of a writing. Can you write for us? And if our writing is very good, if we know the art of writing, if we know the nuances of writing, if we know how to write effectively, if we know what is to be written for the purpose given to us, then definitely we are going to get many new avenues as far as writing is concerned. So writing not only develops our own personality, but it also makes us to understand that our writing is reaching the masses and we are being paid for our own writing. And that makes the success story of an individual. So being a strong writer will not only help you to do well, it will also serve you well in a wide range of occupations. There are writers required in various areas, maybe in the corporate sector, maybe in the educational sector, maybe while preparing the projects are concerned. There are people, those who require writers, the effective writers. So to be the effective writer, we need to practice, practice and practice. If we keep on practicing, then only we can become a very good writer. What Bacon has said, Dr. Ashok Sachdeva has quoted, reading maketh a full man. If we read, we get to know many things. We become the full man. And whatever we have read, if we start conversing with the people, if we start conferencing with the people, if we start communicating with the people, then we become a ready man. And that's why we call someone as a ready speaker. You can call a person at any moment of time. He is ready to speak on any topic, because reading maketh a full man, conference a ready man. And then comes the last one, writing makes an exact man. To become exact, you need how to write. So for writing, what is very necessary is reading is very necessary. Until and unless you read well, you cannot write well. Because when you read, you not only read the text, but you understand the sentence construction. You understand the words which have been used. You understand the way of writing. You understand the nuances of writing. You understand how the words have been combined together, collaborated together, coordinated together to give a particular meaning, and how the writing will be effective enough for the people to understand, for the readers to understand. And that's why, what are the qualities of good writing? The qualities of good writing are based on the ideas. The ideas, every individual has an idea. Starting with an idea that interests you, make it more likely that you will produce a good piece of writing. So whatever our idea is, we must just put all those ideas on the paper. If we can put all those ideas on the paper, then it is important, however, to consider whether the potential readers will also find the idea interesting. Even the best piece of writing won't succeed if the audience is uninterested. So, your idea may be very good. You may be thinking your idea is very good. But if the reader is not taking it in that way, then very good writing is of no use. So for whom we are writing? We are writing for the masses. We are writing for the people to read. And when we want the people to read it, then whatever you write, whatever you have observed, whatever you have felt, all those things may not be felt, may not be observed by the reader. So that's why it creates reader's response. Reader's response will be entirely different than what you have thought. When you have written the ideas, the way you have incorporated the ideas may not be taken by the reader in the same way. The reader may interpret it in a different way. So that entirely depends on the reader to understand. But when we start writing, the very idea of writing should be there in our mind, and we keep on nurturing the ideas. We keep on chalking down the ideas. We keep on making those ideas visible on the papers. So if we can do that, then comes the organization. Good writing has a clear and consistent organization that suits the topic. Your way of writing, the fluency of writing, the voice of writing, the tone of writing, the quality of writing, the attitude of writing, everything should be organized in such a way that if you are writing a story, you will probably want to arrange your details chronologically in the order in which they have occurred. So the organization part is very important. When we want to speak, we do organize our talk. When we want to go out, we do organize ourselves. And when some guests are about to come to our house, we organize everything. In the same way, the writing too needs a kind of an organization, which is to be understood by the writer himself or herself. So that's why we say writing is the painting of the voice. Whatever your voice is there, you are not speaking there in front of audience, but your words, your sentences are speaking. And that's why you have seen in the film, when the hero has written a letter to the heroine, then hero's face is visible through the letter, because the hero is speaking, he is using his voice. So writing is basically the painting of the voice. The voice must be painted in such a way, and that's what is effective writing, when the writer emerges out of the word, when the writer emerges out of the sentences. So that's very important as far as writing is concerned. So what about voice? Voice refers to all the distinctive qualities of your writing, may it be from the type of language you use and the way you put together the sentences and the paragraph to the ideas you like to write about. And what I spoke just now, the attitude you convey to the reader. The attitude of yours take your writing to the altitude. So it is only the attitude which can lead us towards the altitude. So the way we are writing, the attitude of ours, the language we use, the words we use, the way we put it together, the way we use them in a sentence makes it to reach the reader in a very effective way. Then we come to the choice of words. So words have power. In Hindi we say, Shabd Brahma hai. Jab Shabd Brahma hai, then we have to use the correct word at the right time for the right sentences. So what to do about these words? Word choice is a key element of good writing. By choosing words that convey your meaning as precisely as possible and capture your attitude towards your subject, you will help to ensure that readers understand your point and will increase the likelihood that you can sway them to accept your viewpoint. So your words, your sentence,
जब तुम्हारी व्यवस्था हो जाए महीना 2 महीना 3 महीना 6
to say the way you want to say and how effectively you are communicating through words, sentences, and paragraph, and you are entering into the hearts and minds of the reader. So the way you enter into the hearts and minds of the readers, that makes you the real, efficient, capable, and amicable kind of a reader. And then you become the palatable reader for palatable writer for the readers to understand you. So word choice becomes the most important thing. And then comes the sentence fluency. What is sentence fluency? In a piece of good writing, the sentences seem to flow very seamlessly from one to another. Transition make it clear how one sentence connect with the second, and a variety of lengths, structures, and openers help to create a rhythm that engages the reader. So when the reader reads it, the reader should feel a flow. And if there is a flow, then only the sentences, the words, the paragraphs are going to glow in the minds of the reader. So the fluency has to be there. As if the flow of water. And they do create a kind of a rhythm, and the music is very necessary in writing. If you are putting your heart and soul into your writing, then the music is there. Because every beating heart has a music. And if you have written something, putting your heart and soul into it, believe me, you are writing with a rhythm. And that rhythm is going to take you to the masses. And they feel as if you have created a kind of a synergy in their hearts and minds. And that's what we call sentence fluency. How to make those sentences roll like a smooth flowing river. So what is to be undertaken while thinking of sentence fluency? As far as sentence fluency is concerned, we need to understand, we need to question ourselves. Did I use some long and short sentences? Do my sentences begin with different words? Is my writing easy to read the first time? Did I use different kinds of sentences? So all these things, they should come in our mind when we start writing. We do say writing is easy, but writing is not so easy. It will become easy only when we keep on practicing. And that's why in Hindi we say, karat karat abhyas jadmati hot sujan. So if we want to become sujan, then we need to practice a lot. Then to come to the conventions. Finally, it is essential for a piece of writing to follow the convention of English grammar, usage, and mechanics. Error in these areas may distract the readers. So that's why conventional things have to be followed even in the 21st century also. Because in 21st century, we are moving from lots to hots. We are moving from the low order thinking skills, lots, to hots, high order thinking skills. Even in high order thinking skills, we need to have the command over the language. The command over the language requires a great potential from a writer. So what are the writing process? These are the writing stages. Pre-writing, which is the stage in which you explore possible topics, choose a topic, then gather details you can include in your writing. When choosing a topic is concerned, there are many catchy topics which are available. The topic, the very caption of your writing must attract the readers, like in newspapers. The newspaper captions, they attract the readers towards them. And the way you make it catchy, the way you make it interesting, the way you make it visible to the reader, that entirely depends on the skill of an individual. Right? No homework to no homework. What is no homework? N-O, no homework. To no homework, K-N-O-W. So from no homework to no homework, that's a paradigm shift. Like this kind of a writing will definitely attract the readers. What is no homework? N-O, okay, no. Then no homework, K-N-O-W, oh, get to know. So if you have this kind of a topic which can really become catchy, which can create a kind of an interest in the minds and hearts of the reader, then the pre-writing starts from there. Then becomes the brainstorming. Brainstorming is a kind of an exercise which we all can do with our own classmate, with our own teachers, with our own friends, so that the collective knowledge about the particular subject could be gained through brainstorming. Every individual brain has immense potential, immense ideas, and let all the ideas come together. Let all the ideas combine together, collaborate together, coordinate together to bring up a very different kind of an idea. So this kind of a group activity will definitely increase the way of our writing. Right? If Rabindranath Tagore has got the Nobel Prize, the credit of it also goes to W.B. Yeats, who has refined, repolished, revived his writings. So this kind of a brainstorming can make us understand that yes, I have written it in this way. If the peer review will make me to understand if it could be written in this particular way, then I understand, okay, this is going to appeal to the masses. Then clustering. Then begins with the keyword, a central idea placed in the center of the page and around which all the students and the teachers they can gather and quickly jots down all free associations triggered by the subject matter using words or short phrases. We all should bring all those things together in the clustering. And this exercise, if we could do, then definitely the writing will become more effective, more elaborative, and more attractive. Then choosing your topic with the help of what we call invisible ink, and then narrowing your topic, use a planning web or cluster diagram. Then considering your audience and purpose. Audience, identify who will read your article. Who are your audience? Who are the readers? Are you writing it for the children? Are you writing it for the school going students? Are you writing it for the college students? Are you writing it for the masses? So we need to understand to whom are we writing. Then think about what your audience does and does not know about your topic. Consider the type of language that would suit them. Today, we are living in the world of Dr. Google and Professor Wikipedia. When Dr. Google and Professor Wikipedia are there, then our writing has to be a kind of a writing wherein we can create certain amount of interest in the minds of the reader. For that, a lot of thinking must go on. When these very great writers, they start writing, they take a lot of time to research on the topic. They do extensive research before writing. Writing, though it has come to them automatically, but when they write it with full potential. They write it with all the details, and that's why writing takes a long time. Considering your purpose, identify what you want to accomplish through your writing. What is your goal? What is your target? What is your mission? And the mission has to be visualized by the writer at the very first sight. And accordingly, we must be able to gather the information, all the ingredients related to our own idea, our own topic you want to write, and then reporter's formula strategy to gather the details, for whom we are writing, what are we writing, when are we writing, in which particular situation we are writing, why are we writing, and then how are we writing, how are we going to use the words, sentences and paragraphs. So all those things, all those informations, the very primary information has to be gathered before writing. And then we go to the drafting, which involves shaping your writing. Focus on the form. Each form of writing has its own set of objectives. And that's why we need to attract our readers' attention with strong lead. The very head sentence, the very first sentence must be able to attract the interest of the reader. If the reader is unable to have an interest in your writing, maybe after 4 or 5 sentences, sentences, he may lose the interest, and then he'll close the book, he'll close the article, he'll close the paper, and he'll go away. We need to create a kind of an interest. So the very first sentence, the very first word, the head word or the head sentence must be in such a way that it should attract the reader towards the article. Then providing elaboration. As you develop each of the paragraphs in the body of your paper, focus on elaborating or developing your key points. We must not miss the fluency of the sentences. We must not miss the voice of the sentences. We must not miss the voice of the words by providing a thorough set of facts, examples, and details. So these things, they are to be understood by the writer. The very nuances, the very common ideas, the very pertinent things are to be understood by the writer before writing. And then comes revising, using systematic approach. Then applying logic to the way you look at your work by color coding items for analysis. At each stage, use a process of color coding and marking clues in your own work to help you to revise. You can give a color code to your own writing, maybe for sentences, maybe for the words, maybe for the prepositions you are using, maybe for the verbs you are using, maybe for the phrases you are using. You can give a different kind of a color. And based on the color, once again, you can systematically go back to the things and revise the things. So revising the thing, revisualizing the thing, then looking the things from the reader's point of view is very necessary for a writer. Because when the writer writes, then after writing it, he must read it from the reader's perspective. And if he thinks the reader is going to read it in this way, then once again you have an option of revising the text, revising your own writing, revising the overall structure of your entire thing, whatever you have written. Your ideas should flow logically from the beginning to the end. There has to be a chronological kind of an order. So if you go in a flow, then definitely your writing is going to glow. So the flow and the glow are always associated with each other. If the sentences, words, paragraphs, feelings, emotions, observations are not flowing, then definitely you will never find a glow on the faces of the reader. Sometimes you have seen, even when we read some of the texts, without anyone there, we are reading the text and we start smiling, we start laughing, we start changing the entire face of ours, as if we are completely engrossed into the writing. No one is there. And if a person is looking at us, he'll feel as if something is happening to this person. Why this person is smiling? Why this person is laughing? Why this person is making different things as far as his face is concerned? Why these emotions are there on his face? They are because of the thing you are reading, because of the words you are reading, because of the sentences you are reading. So when you read those things, they get into you in such a great way, as if you start feeling every word, every sentence, every paragraph inside you, the character inside you, and then the character is being visualized with the help of our faces. So that's what the reader's approach is. And then revising your paragraphs. Consider the way each sentence contributes to the point of the paragraph. As you evaluate your draft, rewrite or eliminate any sentence that are not effective. And that's why looking at our own text from the point of view of the reader makes us to understand that if it is effective or it's not effective. So we need to understand, we need to revise the things, then revising the sentences. Check to see that they flow smoothly from one to the next. Look to see that you have avoided the pattern of being most of your sentences in the same way. So then revising the paragraph, revising the sentences will take us back to understand whether the writing hasn't lost its flow. So the flow has to be there in every sentence, in every paragraph. Revising your word choice. Make sure that each word conveys the exact meaning you intended to show. If you're not getting the right word, don't write it, because we have seen poets have taken years together to complete their poems because they were unable to find the right word at the right moment. So because of not finding the word, they have stopped writing. They have stopped completing the poem. It took 6 months, 8 months, 10 months for them to find the right word for the right perspective. So we need to understand that every individual word plays a very vital role in communicating the meaning, in communicating the feeling, in communicating the observation. So the word has a great potential in it. The word can change everything. The word can change the perspective. The word can change the entire world. So that is to be understood by the writer. Also look for the repetition of words and make revisions to reduce the number of most commonly repeated words. There are people, those who repeat the words, and they are known for that. We must always avoid the repetition of the words, the same kind of sentence construction, the same kind of paragraphs are to be avoided if you really want to become more and more effective. Your effectiveness depends on these things, the way you avoid it. It will become effective only when they are being affected by this kind of a writing. Peer review shows work with one or more classmates to get fresh perspective on your writing. This is what we call group activity. And in most of the cases, we avoid group activities, wherein group activities can elevate our way of looking at the things, can elevate our perception, can elevate our way of delivering the things, can elevate our feelings, can elevate our emotions. So that's why peer review is highly important. Then we go to revision and editing focused exercises. The content of the passage should be related as closely as possible to whatever topic students are working on, so that they can review core vocabulary or concept. So we have to look into these things we have to give importance to all these things. Similar exercises could involve other frequent morphological errors, such as regular plural nouns without S. Students would then check their own draft to correct similar errors. So we need to focus on these, and a lot of exercise must be done with the help of doing revision and with the help of doing editing process. For example, I have taken one quote here. We tested velocity by placing a green trace dye on the surface of the plot at a measured point. After each run, we estimated the vegetation cover using a 5-point pin frame. We placed the pin frame in 20 places on the plot, moving downward. Now rewritten. We tested velocity by placing a green trace. Here it is written, velocity was tested by placing a green trace dye on the surface of the plot at a measured point. After each run, the vegetation cover was estimated, and in the upper part you see, after each run, we estimated the vegetation cover using a 5-point pin frame. So in that way, we can rewrite the thing which can appeal to the readers, which can put forth its own viewpoint. To make texts as natural as possible, the instructor can simply underline or number the sentences in a text to be rewritten. Like we are revising, we can underline it, we can give a number to it, and afterwards the student should identify the contextual factors that influence use of the passive. So this has to be done when we do the revising. Sentence combining, this particular technique for developing syntactic fluency often involved combining a set of kernel sentences, the affirmative kind of a
मैंने
sentences.
कहा जब तुमने
All the
साफ
affirmative kinds
जिस
of
चीज को साफ मना
sentences
करता
are
है
to
फिर
be
मैंने कभी
combined
प्रेशराइज
together.
लाइन तुमने
Then,
तैयार किया
for example,
कन्विंस
the man was old. The man had grey hair. The man walked down the street. The man walked slowly. Can you reframe it? Please unmute yourself and can you reframe it?
अब जैसे मैं पूछ रहा हूँ जैसे 2-3 दिन के लिए तुम उज्जैन
Yes.
जा रही हो अब इतना सामान लेके तुम उज्जैन जा रही हो
Please unmute yourself and can you reframe it?
Yes,
The man
sir.
was old. The man had grey hair. Yeah.
तुम तो ऐसे
Please.
Sir, this is Pragya from Department of English, Divya Ilya Vishwavidyalaya. Sir, may I try?
Yes, 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 Pragya, please.
मैंने ऐसा कब कहा
Yes. The man was old,
कब कहा
who had grey hair, walked down the street slowly.
Okay.
देखो
Anyone
बात
else?
करना अलग
So
है
may I try?
Yes, please, please. All of you are.
गेट आउट ऐसा कुछ कहा क्या?
Okay, it is the old
Yeah,
man.
please try.
The old man had grey hair. He walked slowly down the street.
Okay. Some else?
Sir, may I?
देखो
Yes,
चिढ़
yes,
होती है, चिढ़ की
absolutely.
जगह। इसका मतलब
It's
है
your
कि
choice.
गुस्सा भी आता है, चिढ़ भी
The
आता है,
man
डांट भी सकते हैं।
was
There is a
old
wear and tear,
and had
तो
grey
इतना
hair,
होगा, घर से निकल जाओ।
walked down the street,
ऐसा तो मैंने कहा है फिर
walked
तुम
down
ऊपर आई
slowly
बात करने। मैं
to
क्लास
the
में
street.
नीचे आया डिस्टर्ब रहा
Right?
मैं ऊपर गया फिर तुम ऊपर आई बात करने।
May I?
Yes, yes.
May I try?
Walk
Yes, please,
slowly
please keep on trying.
towards
A grey-haired,
हाँ,
a grey-haired
भी अच्छे से
old
किया।
man,
street.
a grey-haired old man walked slowly down the street.
Okay.
मैंने भी अच्छे से बातें की
Right.
थी मैंने तुम्हें।
An old man
चीजें डिस्कस
Yes.
की तुम्हारे
walked
साथ।
slowly down the street.
ऊपर तो मैंने
Okay.
नॉर्मल बात की
An old man with grey hair walked down the street slowly.
Right.
मैं तो
See,
दिन भर
this is
वागवा में था, मेरी
The
हेल्थ
old
में
grey-haired man
लात
walked
थी,
slowly
वागवा
down
थी,
the street.
झगड़ा हो गया।
Right? The old grey-haired man walked slowly down the street. So this is what the combining,
मैं कर रहा हूँ, हेल्थ
collaborating,
अभी इतना कर
then
रहा हूँ।
incorporating everything into action. For example, like original is written, people trying to interpret a situation often look at those around them to see how to react. Base reaction on. This is given in the bracket. Then we have written, people trying to interpret a situation often base their reaction on those around them. Look at those around them to see how to react. This has been converted into base their reactions on those around them. Then you can see the second one. Original. Even if a person defines an event as an emergency, then in the bracket it is given decides. Even if a person decides that an event is an emergency. So in this way, we need to develop the art of writing. And there are certain rules in writing, which most of us we know. As far as the certain rules are concerned, this comes capitalization. Every sentence begins with a capital letter. The personal pronoun I is to be always written in capital. The proper noun begins with the capital letter. Abbreviations of proper nouns are to be capitalized. Then most adjectives derived from the proper nouns begin with capital letter. Then every title attached to the name of the person is capitalized. Every line of poetry begins with a capital letter, which we all know. The first word of a direct quotation is capitalized. All the names that refer to God and the names of all sacred books are to be capitalized. The first word and the other words in title of the books, poems, stories and compositions except articles, conjunctions and prepositions are capitalized. The names of the definite geographical parts of a country begin with the capital letter. The words like north, south, east, west, when used merely to indicate direction do not begin with capital letter. So father, mother, uncle, aunt, all these things, it's once again. And then the names of the days, weeks, months and years, and then the names of school subjects are not capitalized until they are proper nouns or proper adjectives. And the first word including the nouns in the salutation of a letter begins with a capital letter. The first word of every part of an outline is capitalized. Then we come to how to write a complaint. Because nowadays we have a lot of complaint, right? Every individual has a complaint. We have complaint with our own parents, we have complaint with our own brothers, sisters, and also with our college, with our university, with our heads. N number of complaints are there. So how to manage these complaints? Tone. The tone of complaint says the complaint has to be very short. Then it says focus on the result you want rather than on a person's or company's incompetence. Because you are complaining. When you want to complain, you need a result of your complaint, right? When you want a result of the complaint, then what is important is use whatever tone. It may be light, it may be angry, it may be like you got disappointed, you are concerned. You think whatever will fetch you the result. The basic motto of complaint is to get the result out of it. And to get the result out of it, what is needed is you have to be tactful, but you should not be harshly critical. Because if you want result, then you need to be very tactful. You need to be very diplomatic. You must not be very harsh. Your tone must not be harsh. So that's why you have to keep the tone very short. Like for example, if you want to ask a pen from your friend, you cannot say, hey, mere ko pen de. The person will never give. You have to use your tone. एक पेन की जरूरत है, मुझे दोगे क्या? Then the person will give the pen. So that tone has to be there when you write also. Because when the person will read it, he will read it with your own tone. So your own tone is being observed, felt and understood by the reader. Because your words, they communicate your tone. Your words, they communicate your attitude. Your words, they communicate the harshness in it. So that's why we say words are mightier. शब्द जो हैं वो ब्रह्म हैं. So they communicate a lot. Then opening. How to write the opening? If possible, say something positive about the company or your relationship. For example, you want to complain about the refrigerator you have taken, and you have purchased a refrigerator maybe of some company like Samsung. Then you can say, we have association with Samsung for quite a long time. Our TV, our oven, everything is from Samsung, because we believe Samsung has a great affinity with our family, and that's why, keeping that affinity in mind, we went to purchase Samsung refrigerator. But like that, if you can start, because there you are quoting your relationship with Samsung. There you are coming with a context for the reader to understand that Samsung has ruled in a particular family. And now when the Samsung has ruled in a particular family, and that's why they have gone for another product of Samsung, because they are repeatedly using Samsung. That is to be understood by the company, and in that way introduce a problem. We have enjoyed a long-standing relationship, like I said, but I'm concerned about. I was disturbed to see that the refrigerator is not functioning so well. Last month, we ordered the refrigerator and got it. But I'm very sorry to say that it's not functioning to the imagination of ours, the way it has to. Like the TV is functioning so well, the AC is functioning so well, but the refrigerator is not. So in that way, if you start the opening, it will create a positive impact in the mind of the company, and then the company will act accordingly because you want the result out of it. And then comes the focus. What's the focus? Explain the problem. Make sure you have all the information about the problem. So all sorts of information have to be there. Cite the steps, if any, that have been taken to resolve the problem so far, and state continuing instances of the problem or failure to solve it. Like this is not consistent with, then you add this type of misunderstanding makes it difficult for us, then you go on. I was under the impression that we agreed on these points,
थोड़ा उज्जैन रह के आओ, अपनी हेल्थ को
but
देखो.
I'm surprised to see why this is happening.
यही कहा तुमसे.
My expectation, like that, in our previous discussion, we said we are going to
अपनी सारी बातें
agree
मैंने ऊपर की
with
है.
each and everyone, but how come we are disagreeing?
बता दिया.
So there the focus must lie on the problem. Then comes the action. The action part says, tell the company your solution and when you want it to be implemented. What kind of a solution you need. You need it to be replaced, you need to be repaired, whatever the things are. You could mention acceptable alternatives or ask the reader
नहीं हो रहा है.
for some. What can we do to correct the problem?
नहीं.
What alternatives can you suggest? When will you know that? So these things are to be there in the mind. Because when you are saying something, then you must analyze that what kind of an answer you are going to get. So the way you present yourself, the same way you are going to get the answer. Because the life is an echo.
मैं वाकई
Whatever you say will come back to you.
पोस्ट कोविड में
As you sow, so shall you reap.
25 मार्च के बाद
The world is like a ball. If you take a ball and hit it to the wall,
तो मुझे कुछ नहीं
with the same force, it will come back to you.
कोविड के
The words you use will come back to you in the same way with the same force. So this world is full of Newton's third law of motion.
अप्रैल मुझे अस्थमा हो
For every action, there is equal and opposite reaction. The way you use the word,
हो गया पूरा.
the same words will come back to you
डॉक्टर की दवाइयाँ
with the same intention and with the same intensity. So that's what is to be understood by us when we take the action. And then the closing. Mention a specific flow step and date and be a pleasant and positive as far as possible. I want to work with you. I appreciate your attention to this and I expect you to do this. I would like you to think on these alternatives. I don't want to cancel my order, so I can give you this kind of a solution. So these are the closing remarks which are to be there when we write the complaint. So these things will make a person to understand the things in such a way that the writing will become more effective. And to make the writing more effective, what J.K. Rowling has said, the most important thing is to read as much as you can, like I did. I'll give you an understanding of what makes good writing and it will enlarge your vocabulary.
मेरे साथ है, सही है.
So reading is
सारे मेंबर साथ में था, एक मेरा
very
मेंबर
important
बैठा
for
रहेगा, मैं सिर्फ
writing.
नाम नहीं बोलता हूँ.
the writers, those who have written wonderful literary
किसी पे
art,
depend नहीं रहता.
they are the people, those who have gone into reading to a greater
मेरा
extent.
addiction है, तो शाम को
They have read everything, whatever that has come on their way. They have gone even out of the way to read
नहीं
it
आता था कई बार.
because they wanted to write.
मजबूरी में मैंने उसको
So,
guide किया.
If you read well,
Related किया, यार मुझे
if you
साथ
think
खड़े
well,
उसको help करना.
if you
उसको help
observe
करना
well,
समझ में आती. मुझे
then
like
you
को
can
help करना.
write well. So that's why all the time what we have to do is we have to
नहीं कर
feel
पाती,
the
नहीं, मैं
zeal
पहली
to
बार कोशिश
heal.
करता हूँ. मैं तुम ऊपर रहती
Even
हो,
your writing
काम
can
दे
heal
दो, तो
people.
मेरे time पे ही आती है.
So
कुछ ना कुछ
we need to
कभी
feel
होगा ना, भाई से नहीं होगा.
the zeal inside to heal the
ये
people.
ladies के करना
Your
है.
writing
तुम
can
quarantine
heal
की-
you also.
quarantine
Even
की-
in this pandemic, if we are writing something
quarantine
to heal the hearts and minds of the people,
ठीक
that's
नहीं ठीक होकर भी
more than
तुम्हारी
enough.
मौसी को मैंने
And
पूरा
that's
time
why
बताया. 90%
no sentence can be
मौसी को मैंने
effective
बताया.
if it contains
बाद में
facts
करके आखिरी
alone.
तक तो उसको
It
सब
must
पता चलता
also
होता है.
contain emotion,
मैंने
image,
आके कई बार
logic
changes भी
and
कराए
promise.
कि ये
The
नहीं ये
image
बनाओ.
has to be there. So
मैंने
let
कई
all
बार
of
ये कहा
us
कि मैं बनाऊंगी
by
सब, तो
practice,
तुमने बनाई, मेरा cancel करा के
practice
भी बनाई.
and sheer
मेरा
practice
आपसे
can
उतना
make ourselves
कचरे वाला
effective
था, वाले
writers
कचरा देता
in
हूँ,
the
बाहर
days
जाता
and
हूँ.
years to come.
सुबह walk पे भी
You
जाता
have
हूँ.
given me
ये दोनों भाइयाँ
your
आती हैं,
ears
अपनी भाई इन पे नजर भी रखता हूँ
and
मैं, काम भी
you
करता
have
हूँ.
given me a chance
जब
to
हम
speak
ऊपर
on this
quarantine थे, तो
occasion.
जूठे बर्तनों में
I
खाना खिलाया.
wholeheartedly
आज भी वो
thank each one of you,
हमारी साथ
and
नहीं
before I
थी.
close,
भाई
please
इससे
look at this
खाने वाली से
video.
मैंने साफ
I'll
करवाई.
just go back to my previous
तो
slide.
अपन मस्ती में ऊपर बैठे.
If you can see the video, let me know, please. Can you see the video?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
देखो बिहार में हम थोड़ी देर में लगाता हूँ.
मैं तुम्हारा नेचर समझ रहा था, तुम्हारे बिहेवियर को सब जानता हूँ, लेकिन तुम्हारी एक्सप्रेशन ही नहीं अभी तक समझ। एक मन का जुड़ा हुआ, मैं तुम्हारे साथ हूँ, मन से हूँ, मन का जुड़ा होता इसलिए साथ में हूँ, नहीं होता तो होते कैसा? मन की चाहत थी कि वी आर टुगेदर। देखो यार, देखो उनका अलग टेस्ट है, देखो देखो सेकंड वाली, देखो देखो सेकंड वाली का, सेकंड वाली के लिए मेरे मन में उसके लिए रिगार्ड है थोड़ा, इसलिए है कि उसने बहुत किया, वाकई किया। उस दिन उसको मैंने अलमारी अंदर करवाई, उसने मेरी बिना कहे अलमारी जमा दी अच्छे से। मैंने पूरी जमी हुई अलमारी देखी, तो ये लक्ष्मी बाई करती नहीं थी पहले, लक्ष्मी बाई का बेकार काम था, कुछ नहीं करती थी। उसने जो अलमारी जमाई, मैं बड़ा विभोर हो गया और मुझे उसकी याद आती आ गई कि यार वो कैसे करती थी इतना सब, कि वो रोटी भी पकाती थी, बाइयों से आटा गुथवा लेती थी, रोटी पकाती थी।
So what is very important for effectiveness is to learn and grow. If we can learn and grow, I think we can grow very well. So thank you very much for providing me the opportunity to be in front of you. Thank you very much.
फिर अकेले रहा तो मुझे मिस नहीं
Thank you so much, sir. A good teacher can inspire hope, ignite the imagination, and instill a love of learning. This is what you have done, sir. Whatever you have said, each and every word of yours was very, very effective and worth learning and focusing upon. Okay, now I would like the students, if they have any questions, they can ask sir to solve query. One by one, you can ask your questions.
Sir, good afternoon.
Very good afternoon.
So my name is Gaurav Singh.
Yes, Gaurav.
Sir, first of all, thanks a lot for guiding us how to write right.
मैं नहीं गया।
And secondly, sir, I have one doubt which I would like to share with you.
Yeah, please.
As it is rightly said that we should write keeping the reader into mind. You also guided. But sir, when we talk about these romantics, Wordsworth and Keats,
Right.
they wrote for their own sake, still they are legends. So
Right.
we should sometimes write for ourselves also, and from personal, can we become impersonal?
Yes, yes. You go personal to impersonal. So see, even impersonal, if you take the word impersonal, it says I am personal.
Yes, sir.
Right? Impersonal says I am personal. So nothing, when you become a kind of an artist, so nothing goes personal. It becomes a people's property. It becomes the property of the masses. And when you start enjoying it, the same kind of a tune with the same kind of a tune, people will also enjoy it. And they may enjoy much more than your expectation. Right? Sometimes they may not be able to enjoy as you enjoy. But sometimes you will feel they are enjoying much more than what you are doing. So that goes personal to impersonal also. Thank you.
We can write for our own sake.
Yes, yes. First of all, we write for ourselves only. Then we go for the masses. And that's why I said, we go from the classes to the masses. And then it comes from the masses to the classes.
May I ask a question, sir?
Yeah,
Sir,
please.
this is Manaswini.
Yes, ma'am.
And I had a question. So thank you so much for such an insightful session you had today. So thank you so much for that. But my question is that you said that we need to peer review our work. But sir, if we are writing with such techniques like stream of consciousness or automatic writing, should we peer review our work, or we should let it be as it is?
Like for example, if it could be peer reviewed, then it will add something into it. Always like when we discuss it with the people, when we show it to the people whom we really know, one who is not going to take advantage out of it, one who is not going to use it for his or her own sake, and whom we trust, and who can give a wonderful suggestion to it, I believe we must always get into that. And if something we feel as if we are not going to show it to the people, as you said, then we can go for that. But always taking some kind of an help from a person will definitely increase, will definitely make it more effective.
So, but then it will not be as natural as it came in our head.
No, it's basically natural. Then once again, when you get the ideas from the other person, it depends on you whether to incorporate those ideas or not. It's your wish, right?
Yeah,
It's absolutely your own idea. Because if you think that yes, this could be included, but not to the greater extent, but to a very little extent, definitely it will emerge in a different way. But if you think no, it will completely kill the very original idea of mine, then you can leave it, no problem.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Most welcome.
Anyone else?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
Sir, this is Pragya Paliwal.
Yes, Pragya.
First of all,
You
I
are the
must
first
say
one who
that
tried the sentence, right?
yes, sir.
Right.
Sir, I must say this that your way of communication in a poetic way, like from the classes to masses, and skill that you break the word skill to kill. Yes, sir. And that when you write, then collect the right word to write well. This is so great, and some more sentences I'm not able to recall right now. Were so great,
I'll tell you one, blend.
Yes, sir. That I have noted. Blend, yes, sir.
And then
sir,
feel the zeal to heal.
Yes, sir. Feel the zeal. If you feel, then you heal. No, if you feel the zeal, then you can heal. Yes, sir. That is so great. Sir, I have question related to this only. So when I go to write, then to frame writing is rhyming is very easy to me. But when I go to write a poem and poetry in free verse, then it is very difficult to me, sir. So how could I practice this? Sir, could you please give some tips to me?
Yeah, and do one thing. Whatever comes to your mind, the idea, right?
Yes,
keep
sir.
on scribbling on the paper. Keep on writing on the paper. The way you are getting the idea, you just keep on writing. Don't ever think of what you said, you are very good at rhyming. Don't go into rhyming. The way it's coming, you keep on writing it. And then once again, you try to read it. And if you think that it's not rhyming, it's completely in blank verse, then you once again redraft it. Redraft it in such a way that it should go very smoothly, word by word, line by line, feeling by feeling. It should go in a chronological order. And if it goes in a chronological order, then you will find maybe on the third or the fourth day, you will start doing it. And once you are through it, then you will definitely attempt it for the second, for the third, for the fourth line.
Yes, sir, that is the problem. I make haste to write and I don't give very much time to edit it.
Because
yes.
What ma'am has said, gradually you need to develop that, right? धीरे धीरे रे मना धीरे सब कुछ होए माली सींचे 100 घड़ा ऋतु आए तब फल होए.
Exactly, sir. Exactly.
So
Thank
we
you
need
so
to
much.
develop that. It will not develop in a day. It will take its own time. And for some people, it will take a long time. And for some people, it will take a short time. But definitely, it will take time.
Yes, sir. And sir, I must say this, your quote, your attitude can lead you to the altitude.
Right.
That
It's only
was so
attitude which
impressive.
can lead to the altitude.
Yes, sir. That was so impressive. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Anyone
Hello,
else?
sir.
Yes. Yes.
So, myself, Jaskin Kaur Saluja from
Yes.
School of Journalism and Mass Communication. It
Yeah.
was great having session with you. Really, before this, I was not writing any sort of thing. I wanted to improve my writing. So I have one doubt that before writing, so we should directly jump to the hard words, or we should start with our natural words or simple words we know for.
First of all, when you start writing, you feel what you want to write, right? If you have felt it with the soft words, if you have felt it with the most common words, if you have felt it with the words which you like, which you love, which you want to share with people, start with those words. Because writing always depends on the way you feel. And if you are really feeling the harsh words, if you are really feeling the words which are of like a greater magnitude, or if you are really feeling the words which are like ornamental kind of a word, then you can go like that. But first of all, if you really want to write, go with the words which you like, which you love, which you use, and which you feel as if you can express it for others also. So go with that. Then gradually it will develop into bigger and greater words.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Most welcome.
Okay. Anyone else, or shall we wind up the session?
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning, sir. This is Shatakshi from the
Yes, Shatakshi.
MFI. Yes, sir. I have a query. Sir, Horace in its criticism said that a write-up must be kept for 9 years before publishing it. So, sir, how much is it relevant in today's time, sir?
See, why he said so? Because every writing, when the artist writes, he wanted it to be communicated to the next generation. Like in the beginning, I said, कलम. What is कलम? कल लिखते हैं हम, वही है हमारी कलम. हम लिखते कब के लिए हैं? कल के लिए लिखते हैं. आज के लिए तो लिखते हैं, ठीक है. लेकिन आज के लिए लिखने के साथ साथ हम कल के लिए भी लिखते हैं, ताकि कल हमारी वही कलम लोग पढ़ सकें. So when we write for the future generation to read it, then he said, if we have to keep it for 9 years, maybe for 9 years it will gradually mature into such a kind of an art that even after 9 years it will be relevant. But I always suggest, whatever you have written, let it go out, let it went out, let it reach the people, and then let the people understand whether it is relevant or not to the present scenario. Even today when we read Keats or Byron or Shelley or even Shakespeare, for that reason, whose birthday we celebrated yesterday, and even Geoffrey Chaucer, Milton, Donne, all of them, they are till today they are relevant. We are quoting every individual till today, and even we say Gandhi's ideology is relevant today much more than what it was relevant in the years when Gandhi lived. So the relevance that increases, because this is a circle. We have reached here, then we have to reach once again there only, where we started. So the relevance of the artist will remain forever. The artist is not for the age. but he is for the ages.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Most welcome.
Sir, may I ask just one more question?
Yeah, please, please.
Sir, I actually want to ask you that in the present scenario, when we are moving towards free verses and we are having Chinua Achebe and Hol Soinka and many more writers who are writing in free verse, sir, I tried my hand in haiku and iambic pentameter. So, should we try to write in these forms or neoclassical writers I tried to follow? And I found good piece of work also came out. I wrote about ODC also, but then should we go for them or should we also follow the free verse, etc.?
Right. As of like every word which starts with IN, may it be information, may it be innovation, may it be inclination, may it be influence. Every word which starts with IN, it's always in, I feel. Right?
Yes, sir.
So whatever you feel from inside is to be taken out. If you feel as if you are influenced by someone, but if you want to have your own style, don't ever imitate any person. You go with your own style. You go with your own thoughts. You go with your own words. You go with your own structure of words. That's entirely depends on you to go about it. And if the people are liking it, then you are effective for them. So that's why I always say, in the beginning, we do imitate the people. Like Kiran Desai said, say we started imitating Salman Rushdie, right? The certification of the words and all those things she said. But later on, these artists, they have developed their own style. And even in the Bollywood also, if you see, Shah Rukh Khan is always being told that he is imitating Dilip Kumar, right? But he developed his own style. So every individual will develop his or her own style. Maybe in the beginning, you start imitating the people like the children do. They do imitate their parents. But when they grow up, they create their own way of style. So that style we need to implement as far as we are concerned. What I believe.
Actually, sir, yesterday also I had a conversation with ma'am and I asked that, sir, those who are winning the prizes, those works are completely different and they, when we write something original and don't keeping audience in mind, then our work is not appreciated as deliberately. We are not putting any such stuff, because as we have seen Inheritance of Loss or Arvind Adiga's White Tiger and many more award-winning fictions, we see that they put some, it is as if that in Indian writers, they are just only putting some partition or some communal discord or anything, any such stuff, just put inside it and then you will get popular. Homosexuality, just put it. So should we also try to put such things to be known, or should we stick to our own style?
Can I ask you?
For the deliberate
can I ask you one thing?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Are you writing keeping in mind the award in your?
Yes, sir. Sometimes, because
sometimes okay.
Common.
If you really want to keep the award in your mind, then you have to bring all these issues which have not been taken into consideration. Its awards are basically only related to money matters, right? They have been politicized in such a way that there the literary taste is less, the money matters more, right? The issues matter more. The issues which you cannot talk in a free way are being incorporated into the fiction. So when the fiction is being incorporated with the issues which are not spoken freely by the people, then those things, they make money, because all the things which are related with the so-called what you call the derogatory kind of a thing are being put into action. But even in that age also, the people, those who haven't won the award, they are being read by the people. What about R.K. Narayan? What about Mulk Raj Anand? What about for that reason Khushwant Singh? What about Ramanujan? right? What about even
Yes, sir.
so many other authors are there who have been awarded any kind of an award are being read till today by the people.
So, sir, is
So-
it wrong that we incorporate such things, or we
No,
can?
I am not saying wrong. It entirely depends upon the individual to see to it. If I see to it in that way, every writing is what you perceive, right?
Yes.
Writing is basically the perception of an individual. If you perceive in that way, then you write in that way. So that's the thing. If my mind is completely attached with an award and I should bring out some very, what you call a kind of an issue into the focus, then I'll definitely do write that. But all my writing may not be like that.
Yes.
Sorry to intervene.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Gaurav.
Received Nobel Prize, sir.
Pardon?
Sir, sorry to intervene. Jean-Paul Sartre refused Nobel Prize for that matter.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, sir. Because I was really confused that should I go for it or not. Thank you so much.
That's
Okay.
why what you said, confuse, that's why converse so that you can fuse your ideas. That's what confuse is.
Wonderful, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, now I would like to wind up the session.
Right, ma'am,
And
right.
on behalf of PAVB again, School of Comparative Languages and Culture, I extend my heartiest thanks to you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for sparing your valuable and precious time and sharing wisdom with us. Thank you all of you. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, ma'am.